Hey loves, this is Bobby and I'm here with another video. And this is going to be my monthly TBR video, and this is going to be for the Trope-ical Readathon. I had such a blast doing this one last year. This takes place during the entire month of March, and it is based off of all the different tropes we find in books. Like I said, it was so much fun, and then trying to find books that fit these tropes was a blast. I have a lot of really awesome books that I have been meaning to get to for a while, as well as some surprising ones that I've just recently got. So yes. I will drop all of the links for the readathon down below. Most of everything is happening over on Twitter, but there is a website dedicated to the readathon, and like I said, all of that will be linked down below. This is broken up into different teams. We have the fantasy sci-fi team, we have the horror thriller mystery team, which is the team that I am joining. Again, I joined that team last year and I had such a great time with it. I loved the team book, so that was a Mexican Gothic, which became one of a favorite of mine. I absolutely loved it, so I knew I was going on with the same team again. I am going to try and finish this readathon 100% as always. For the team prompts, there are 2 extra trope/prompts plus a team book, and then there are 13 general trope prompts that you can do as what everybody does. This is based off of a point system. You get points for pages read as well as finishing the different tropes and stuff. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to start with the team, which call it prompts and everything first. Like I said, I'm joining team horror mystery thriller, and the prompts for these are based off of the tropes that you would find in those type of books. The first one is going to be the haunted house trope, and I'm going to be going with The Grip of It by Jack Jemick. This follows the story of a couple who have had to relocate to this new house because the husband has gambling problems as well as kind of impulse control problems. So they have moved to try and get a fresh start. As soon as they're checking out the house, they start hearing weird noises, and the realtor just tells them, oh, it's just the house settling. Well, they soon find out that this house, it has rooms within inside of rooms, hidden doorways, all kinds of things, and it's just, there's stains appearing on the walls. So this seems like it's going to be an actual haunted house, the house itself is going to be the haunting. I love that type of haunted house feel to it without the ghosts and stuff. So I'm very excited for this. I bought this a while ago. I had bought a bunch of horror books written by female authors. This was one of the ones that was highly recommended, so I'm very excited. I haven't actually known anybody that's read it, so I'm going into this one pretty much blind, but I have some high hopes. I just want a really good creepy story, and that's what I'm hoping for this one, and I felt like it fits the horror mystery thriller team perfectly. The next prompt for the team is going to be the whodunit trope, and I am going to be going with Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I have had this book recommended to me a ton of times. I was gifted this to me as well, and I've been meaning to get to it, and I just hadn't. Like I said, I have heard so many amazing things from this. This is probably one of the books that I am looking forward to reading the most this month. I wanted to do it at the top of the month, but I'm going to be putting this onto a second readathon TBR this month that I'm going to be doing. Get all the information for that one up later. But yeah, we are following the story of a girl who I believe cross-dresses so that she can attend this school because she's very interested in anatomy, and I believe she wants to be a coroner, or her uncle or something's a coroner. Like I said, I don't know that much about it. And of course, the back doesn't actually tell you anything for me to read off of. But I know this is a historical fiction horror, so I'm very excited. I don't read historical fictions that often, so it's definitely going to be a change up for me. But it follows the story of Jack the Ripper, and I believe this girl is trying to find him. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I have the second book in the series as well. I was gifted it at the same time, so I cannot wait. I'm counting down the days till I can read this one. So yes, if you've read this one, definitely let me know if it really does live up to the hype, because like I said, I've had it recommended to me so many times and I can't wait. And for the team book, when it comes to the horror thriller mystery, I'm going to be going with the older release, which is Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. This sounds pretty awesome. We're following the story of a boy who, I think this is kind of like a end of the world. It kind of sounds like that. I don't actually know if it is or not. That him and his family, they're kind of like the outcasts of society. They're not quite human. They're not quite this other creature, I believe. And this is following him trying to see where he fits in. It says that it's like a horror comedy, which I love horror comedy. So I'm really excited for this one. I never heard of it before. I don't know anybody that's read it. So I'm really interested in it for why it was picked and everything. So I can't wait to get to this one. This is another one I'm going to be reading for my other readathon. So there we go. That is it for the team cards. So I'm going to go over into the full readathon tropes, which like I said, there are 13 of them. So let's get started so we can get through this kind of fast. For the first trope, it is going to be the absent parent trope, or you can read a book that has multiple authors. I'm going to be going with the trope prompt, and the book that I decided on is one of the books that I have been meaning to read for years, and I mean years. I started it once and I ended up putting it down and I had to return it to the library and I just never got it again. Finally got a physical copy and I just haven't picked it up. It comes highly recommended. If you're a fantasy fan, you've either read this or you've heard about it, and that is going to be The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. We follow the story of a boy who has been orphaned, and he ends up joining this kind of religion that centers around thieving, and he has his whole like group and they go around, and I think he's kind of like ends up like a chosen one type of thing. It sounds really awesome. Like I said, I've had it recommended to me. I've seen it recommended in every single fantasy group. They're like, this is like a book you have to read. When I used to be on Tumblr with a reading blog and everything, it was like one of the highly ones everyone was reading at the time, and I just never picked it back up after starting it. I think I only got in like a chapter. I think I'm going to be doing the audiobook for this one if I can get a hold of it. Because I kind of struggled with the writing the first time. That was why I put it down. But I am determined to read it because I really do want to read it, because I've heard the characters in here are amazing. The story's great. So I can't wait. This might be the first one that I get to this month. I haven't decided yet. For the next trope, it's going to be war setting, or alternately, you can read a book that is 500 pages or more. I am knocking off both of these prompts for this one. You do not get extra points for knocking off both, but I just happen to. And that is going to be Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third book in the Stormlight Archive. I have been making my way through them slowly. Well, not too slowly. I try and read one book a month. This is my next one. I would definitely over 500. I have the double edition, so, but it's well over 1,000 pages. I cannot wait to get into this one. I am a little nervous about this one because this seems to be the one, like when people talk about Stormlight Archive, this seems to be everybody's like least favorite in it, which kind of makes me nervous because all of his books have been 5 stars for me so far, and I've read quite a few of his works now. And this definitely has the war setting, everything about this, like there is a war just kind of going on. I can't really talk too much about these because I don't want to give it away. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows what these are about at this point, so let's just speed along, but I can't wait. I am so excited, a little nervous, but super, super excited for this one. But yeah, like I said, double edition, so, but yeah, I think one of these alone is over 500 pages. Yeah, one of them's 753, and the next one is over 620, so yes. The next trope is going to be the small town trope, or you can read a book with featuring one-word title. I'm going to be going with the trope for this one, and that is going to be You Should See Me in a Crown by Leigh Johnson. I have been dying to read this one. I've heard it is so cute. Everyone seems to have loved it. I just hadn't gotten around to picking it up. I finally got gifted it and I freaked out when I did. This is also a queer, has queer representation. I believe the main romance in here is sapphic. We're following the story of a young girl who she wants to get out of her small town, and to do this she has to try and win prom queen. And whoever does win, they get like a scholarship, and she's going for this. I can't wait for this one. Like I said, I've heard it's super cute and I've just been dying to get to it. So this one might be what I read after Lies of Locke Lamora, so I can get something a little lighthearted in. But yeah, I can't wait. I am so excited for this one. The next trope is going to be the coming of age trope, or you can read a book that helped to shape you into the person you are. I'm kind of taking out both of these with this one, and I'm going to be reading The Strange Fascination of Noah Hypnotic by David Arnold. This follows the story of a boy who he is absolutely obsessed with David Bowie, and he wakes up one day after being hypnotized to his whole world being changed. His mother has a scar on her face that she never had. His dog, who was injured, is no longer injured. His best friend all of a sudden is obsessed with something completely different, and he doesn't quite know why everything has changed. The way I'm knocking out both of these is that David Bowie was a huge inspiration to me when I was younger, when it came to accepting that being weird can help you feel better, and it definitely did. I was obsessed with Bowie when I was younger. I still am. He was one of those deaths that hit me really freaking hard. But yeah, I am so excited for this one. It's this young boy coming into himself. I believe it does have queer representation, but don't quote me on that one. It just sounds absolutely fascinating. I can't wait. I loved the cover on this one. So yeah, I am very, very excited for this one. For the next trope is going to be the Stopia trope, and that is, or you can read a book that someone else has chosen for you. I'm going with the dystopian trope. I have wanted to read this book for years. I've had it on my shelf for probably about 6 years or more. Yeah, I think it's probably been about more than 6 years. And I've always meant to get to it. It deals with one of my absolute favorite horror tropes, and that is zombies. And for that, I'm reading Feed by Mira Grant. I have become obsessed with Shauna McGuire, which is Mira Grant's other pen name. The Wayward Children series is my absolute favorite. I've been meaning to read more of her works. I've been seeing this pop up a bit more now, so I am definitely excited to read it. This takes place in, I think at the time, it might have been, I don't know what year this was written in. I think that at the time this was supposed to be like in the near future, which was the very distant future of 2014. So yeah, I've had, like I said, I've had this book for quite a while. But there was a, in our world or whatever, this universe, they have healed the common cold. You know, people are no longer getting sick. They've cured cancer. But when all of that happens, all of a sudden the dead start rising, or people start turning into zombies. I'm not sure which one comes around. And now this takes place, that's all happened. So 20 years from then, these two reporters are out trying to find out exactly what happened, because they believe that it wasn't an accident and the government or someone has actually caused this. I love zombie books. I love zombie movies. I have watched most zombie movies. It's like one of my favorite genres. So I cannot wait to get this. And like I said, I absolutely love Mira Grant / Shauna McGuire. So I can't wait to read her like actual straight up horror. I am very, very excited for this. For the next trope is going to be the Blast from the Past trope, or you can read a book that came out before the year 2000, and I am knocking off both of these with this again. I'm going to be reading Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Jurassic Park is about. So if you don't, they bring back dinosaurs, so that's definitely a blast from the past, and they're turning it into this kind of amusement park. I have always heard very mixed things about the book. A lot of people say that the movie is better, but I've always wanted to read the book, and I just never got around to it. And I'm also going to be reading this because I'm doing the Pop Sugar yearly challenge, and one of the prompts is to read a book from the 90s, a bestseller. This was a bestseller in the 90s, so it helps to check my little list off there. But yeah, I can't wait for this. I have always wanted to. I'm really curious to see if the movie is better, since that rarely happens, but I can't wait. I've actually never read anything by Michael Crichton. I actually have quite a few books of his. I think I have like 4 books of his, and I want to get into his works. So yes, for the next prompt is going to be mixed media, or you can listen to an audiobook. I'm going to be for sure doing the mixed media. I am not sure if I'm going to do this as an audiobook or not. I've read the rest of the series physically, so I think I might stick with physically, because this is a book you have to read physically, because to get the full mixed media experience from it. And that is going to be A Map of Days by Ransom Riggs, which is the 4th book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I have loved the first 3. The first one I think was 4 stars, and then I think the other 2 might have been a 4 and a 5 star. I can't remember. I know the second book I believe was a 5 star. The third book, I loved everything about it except the ending, so I thought that was going to be like a full ending. So when I found out there was more to the series, I bought them, and I just never got around to picking them up. So I'm very excited to get to this one. For the mixed media aspect, if you don't know the series, the story is accompanied by pictures, and these are actual vintage pictures that Ransom Riggs has found. Some of them he's edited, but at the heart of them, they are original pictures. I loved seeing all of the different pictures in these. It definitely added a kind of surrealism to the story. Like, it was like, wait, is this real? Like, you know, it's not, but it just, like, the pictures just add to the atmosphere and everything. I don't know what this one is about that much. I know it takes place soon after the 3rd book, which I can't really go into because I don't want to spoil anything. And I'm hoping it does fix that ending, because the ending kind of felt really weird to me. Like, it felt really disjointed, and that's why I didn't pick this up right away to read it. But now I definitely want to. I know there's the last book in the series came out, or is about to come out. I think it came out. So I want to finish these. I have the next book as well. I just need that last one. So I can't wait. For the next prompt is the artificial intelligent trope, or you can read an ebook. I will be I'm not sure if I'll do the ebook, but I might do the audio book for this one, and that is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. This is the 2nd book in the Murderbot series. I read the 1st book last month in February, and I loved it. It was a 4-star book. It was an awesome sci-fi. We follow the story of this robot who he manages to override his kind of settings, and he could go on a killing spree. He could run away. He could do whatever the hell he wants. Well, he doesn't do that. He just downloads a bunch of TV and watches it, which I loved it. It was really weird, fun, quirky. I enjoyed it. It's a short story. I believe it's under 200 pages. I'm so excited. I don't know how many books are in the series, but I know there is quite a few. So I'm really excited to get into this next one. Like I said, I fell in love with the characters, and the story was great. So I want to know where it's going. So yeah, but I don't have a physical copy of this one. I do think I'm going to go with the audiobook if I can. If not, I will download the ebook. So I might knock off both of the prompts for this one. I don't know. For the next prompt, it's going to be boarding school, or to do a buddy read. I was originally going to do the boarding school trope for this one, but then my friend Emma got a hold of me. So we decided to try and do a buddy read again. We're hoping this comes out better than last time, because our last buddy read, we both ended up absolutely hating the book. So we're hoping for this to win out better. And we're going to be going with The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. This is like a horror type of book. It sounds crazy, but it also sounds like, I've heard that the writing is really beautiful in it. So I can't wait, because that's a really kind of crazy combination. We're following the story of, in this world, there's these girls that they're believed that they can lure men, and they make women like completely like jealous and just obsessed, and they are either killed or caught and sold for these powers. And it just sounds crazy. It comes, I don't know that many people that have read it, but it has amazing reviews for it. I can't wait. The cover, I honestly bought this book because of the cover before I even knew it was about, because it was just pink and beautiful. And then I found out it was a horror, and I'm like, ho, what? This beautiful thing is going to be grisly in there? I hope so. For this next one is a enemies to lovers or friends trope, and I have had this book, or you can read a book that you've previously DNF'd. I'm going to be going with the enemies to lovers. I've had this book for a while, and most people seem to really enjoy it. That was why I bought it. I just never got around to picking it up, which is a running theme. If I have a trope, personally, my trope is buying books that sound amazing and then never actually reading them, if you can't tell. So I'm going to be going with Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. We follow the story of a girl who she works in this library where it holds like grimoires, and magic in here is kind of like seen as evil, while someone frames her for letting loose one of these grimoires, and she has to team up with he is a evil, well-known like sorcerer, and I believe we get the romance from that couple. Not 100% sure, but I'm taking a gamble. But yeah, I have been wanting to read this. The cover was absolutely beautiful, but I had it recommended. I've seen it in a lot of places. Everyone says it's a really great standalone. I want to read more standalones because I am notorious for starting series and never finishing them. So standalones are just a great way for me to be one and done. But yeah, I can't wait for this one. I am very, very much looking forward to it. For this next trope is going to be the multiple POV, or multiple point of views. I am dying to read this book, but I am so hesitant about it as well. It's kind of intimidating because of the writing style I've heard, but it is like just, I think each one of these books have won awards in this series, and everyone I trust as reviewers just rave about it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dive in. It was one of the top books that I really wanted to get to this year, and that is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I know that this is written in different styles throughout it, so I'm very, very curious. But they say it's a crazy kind of fantasy sci-fi. I think it has like kind of sci-fi elements. This has like, in this world there's, I think it's a great storm or like earthquakes that like shifts things, and we have another person that's kind of traveling through this, and they're kind of like one of the only people that can kind of survive. It sounded crazy. I don't know that much about it. Every time I just hear them rave about it, and I kind of just like blank out on what it's about, because I want to go into this one not really knowing what to expect, but expecting an amazing story at the same time. I did have part of it spoiled on accident, but it didn't really affect my view on it. It actually made me want to read it even more. So I cannot wait. Like I said, everyone I trust absolutely loves this book, so I am like just so excited. It is for the new Kid in Town trope, and you could either read that, or you can read a book where it's a genre you don't really read. Kind of both with this one. I'm going to be going with You Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I read One of Us is Lying a couple years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I don't really read like mystery thriller all that often, because like I've said before, I always guess the whodunit or the huge twist or any of it. I guess it from like the very beginning, so I don't read this genre that often. I do enjoy it. It's just, it's kind of hard for me to I've never given a 5-star, I don't believe, because only way you can get a 5-star from me from a kind of mystery thriller is if you do actually manage to surprise me. But I really enjoyed this author's writing. It was really cool. We follow the story of a girl who's just moved into this new town to live with her grandmother. But this town, girls have gone missing, some have gotten murdered, and someone has now promised that years later now that this is going to be happening again. And this girl, her grandmother, her mother, everybody is just always keeping secrets. She has secrets of her own, so it sounds really cool. I'm hoping I can get a surprise out of this and maybe not guess the ending. That's why I don't know too much about this, because I just want to hopefully be surprised. But I do really, really like this author's writing. I want to read the next book in that One of Us is Lying series. There is a second book. I have it, I just haven't picked it up, but I've had this one for a while now and I really, really want to get to it, so I can't wait. And for the final trope, it is the retelling trope, and I love me some retellings. Or you can read a book that has been adapted into a TV or a movie. I'm going with the retelling, and I have been dying for this book. I was gifted it quite a while ago and I just hadn't picked it up, but I have read another book by this author, which I read for the team challenge last year, and I wanted to get her on this readathon as well because, like I said, I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to be going with Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I read Mexican Gothic last year and I loved it. It was 4 stars. It was such a great Gothic horror. I loved her writing and the fact that she does center her stuff with in either Mexico or it has to do with Mexican culture. I love it. I am a Latina myself, so it just definitely hits a little different. This takes place in, I believe it's the like mid 1920s or so. It's during the height of like the jazz era, so that right there has me super excited. I'm reading the Diviner series, which also takes place in the 20s, and I love that era so much. And she accidentally opens this wooden box and releases this deity. She kind of goes on this cross-country odyssey with this god, and we get this world just built up of different Mexican folklore and fairy tales. I cannot wait for this. I grew up on a lot of that. My dad always made sure he took us to museums and stuff to, you know, make sure we understand our culture and the art and stuff. So I am so excited for this one. I cannot wait. It sounds amazing. Her writing is absolutely awesome in Mexican Gothic, so I can't wait to see what she does in like a more fantasy world instead of a horror world, because I am super excited for this one. This is another one where it's on the top of my list, so I hope I can get to this one kind of soon, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I can't wait, and I want to see exactly what myths and legends and folklore we go in with, so I am so excited. Okay, so there we go. That is my Trope-ical Readathon TBR. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've read any of these, definitely let me know your thoughts on them. Are there any of these that I should definitely bump up my list? Because I'm pretty solid on this TBR. I've been doing really well with sticking to my TBRs. I don't swap out books very often. But yeah, definitely let me know though which one of these I should definitely bump up first to read, because I want to start off my month just at a running start, and I need some good books in. So yes, if you are taking part, I would love to know. If you have a TBR for this up, I would absolutely love to watch it. I love watching TBR videos. You can follow me through all of my social media links down below. I update all through my vlogs and stuff for the most part on what my thoughts are on these books. So that's what's what. And as always, I'm Bobby. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're interested. I'll catch you guys later. Happy reading. Bye.